All right, welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely honored to have you here today. Okay, so this is a really interesting video that I'm going to be, going into today. And what makes this so interesting is I literally had this crazy inception moment in my personal life. And I feel like in some way this is also going to resonate with you. I feel like, as I had this experience, I'm also here to sort of share it with all of you. So this inception moment was pretty crazy. And I've had several of these moments before in my life, but this was one of the most significant and profound ones that I have personally ever experienced. All right, so how did this happen? So it simply started with my phone running out of storage. So basically my phone got to a point where it ran out of storage, which in many ways you could also look at that as being quite symbolic because, what is storage? Storage sometimes is holding on to things from the past. Sometimes that's why we don't delete things and we let things build up. That's what it can represent. So for me, in my case, I had a lot of videos from my past and even some pictures from my past that were taking up too much storage in my phone's memory. So I was unable to record videos and things in that nature. So what it was requiring me to do was to go back into my storage and to sort of identify the different videos it is that I can start deleting in order to create the space it is that I need to be able to create new videos and things in that nature. So I go into my storage, I see like a series of different videos, and these videos were generally from the year of 2022 all the way to 2023. So it's not like super, super far back in the past, but it's far enough in the past where it's a completely different version of myself. And one of the wildest things is out of all the different videos that I had, and actually a lot of the videos were videos from when I used to do tarot card readings for people. So I had a lot of tarot card reading videos that I still had on my phone from 2022 and 2023. So I just randomly, when I went into my storage and I saw those videos, I knew that it was going to be important for me to just give myself a little bit of time to sort of view that version of myself. So I was very conscious that before I delete these videos, I want to make sure I see that version of myself to see if there's anything that I can notice or anything that I can become aware of and maybe just take a moment to reflect on. And that's exactly what I did. I literally did like a Russian roulette scroll. I found a random video, and the craziest thing is, in this specific video, which I think was probably like a 7-minute long video, it was a message. Well, it was a direct message to me actually from that version of my older self. So it was like a communication from my older self back in the very beginning of 2023 up to this version of me now as we're basically midway through 2025. The tarot card from this video, which I didn't know, this was all intuitive and it was all what we could call random, just happened to be the Magician tarot card. And the message it is that I was sharing in this video was literally a direct message to the version of me right now. And it was the craziest thing because, of course, during that time when I was recording it, there was no conscious part of me that was aware that I was going to one day look back at that video and then receive the message it is that I was actually giving to a client of mine at the time. But the exact message from that older version of me was literally a direct communication to where I am now. And what it was, and this is what I think you might resonate with too, it was basically a moment of completion. It was a moment of bringing light to the fact that, Jeremiah, you have just become the version of yourself that you are now meant to be. And you are meant to continue nurturing this new connection to yourself energy and to continue to be authentic. And through this path, as you develop this and as you nurture this and you give yourself the patience you need, you are literally going to become the complete creator of your reality, because you already are the creator of your reality, but before you were unconscious of what you were creating. Whereas now, as you're grounding more into your self energy and your heart is truly opening up and you're giving yourself patience, you are going to create the exact reality that is the deepest and most aligned with what you're truly here to do and what you're truly here to experience. And it was literally this video of myself from that time frame communicating, letting me know now in the present moment that I have basically completed a huge sequence of development and transformation. And it like confirmed to me that this is you. This is who you actually are. You've gone through all these trials, these tribulations, these ups and these downs, so much different adversary, working through things, and now you have finally completed the process of getting back to yourself. And now that you're back to yourself, this is just the beginning of a whole new journey, a whole new chapter, a whole new you that is going to emerge. You've already experienced, seen, and have been through everything else to the point where you can no longer return back to the old self. And you can't reattach to things that for so many years you were attached to simply because you were unconscious. And as I said, in this video of me pulling that magician archetype, that's literally the message it is that I was communicating to myself in the present moment. And it was so strange to watch it, because not only was I just completely resonating with the fact that this message I just happened to click on is exactly what I needed to hear, exactly when I needed to hear it, but I could also reflect on the fact that the version of me that was saying that message at that time was literally communicating a message that I knew at the deepest parts of my soul I needed to hear as well. So in other words, that version of me that left that message, that confirming message and that sense of completion, I can reflect on that version of me, and that's not really who I was. I can literally see that video and see the Jeremiah in that video, and I can see the parts of me that at that point in time I was identified with. And I can see how I was not fully my authentic self, and I was not truly embodied in my self energy. Although I was doing my best at the time, and there's no shame and judgment towards that version of me, it's just a wild thing to be able to look at that, get the message from that version of me, confirming where I'm at now as being myself. Oh, it gives me chills just kind of speaking about it. But then also noticing that version of me was on the journey of trying to find myself. It's the deepest inception. It's the message from my past self giving a message to my future self. And I have a feeling in some way this is absolutely going to resonate with you as the listener of today's video. And if this is something that is resonating, feel free to share that in the comment section, exactly how this is resonating with you. How are you receiving this? And have you noticed any weird correspondences or symbolisms or moments like this, these crazy inceptions, where your old self is communicating to your future self or your present self, confirming that you're on the right path, confirming that you're honoring your process and that you found yourself? Oh, it just gives me chills. One of the reasons why it gives me so much chills just kind of thinking about this and speaking about this is because it truly does highlight what we could call the divine nature of life itself. There's no way I could have known that out of all the videos that I had to delete, I would have just clicked that specific one with the Magician Tarot card, which literally is the embodiment of the authentic self and becoming the conscious creator of your reality. You become the magician in that way. It's such a completion-based card. It even has the 777 on it. I'll actually show it to you for a second. This is the card I pulled. This is the magician. Okay? There's tons of symbolism in this. All the four elements show up, the four suits. You see that like purplish, thing here. I think it's his cape, signifying the higher energetic centers in the body coming through the head. Ruled by Mercury. Yeah, ruled by Mercury, which is the mind. It's just such a significant card here. And then you can see the 777 right there. That's the completion. Because that's 777 is the numerological value of the entire universal Kabbalistic tree put together. It all comes out to 777. So it basically represents a utter completion and an embodiment. And that archetype as well connects to the top of the Kabbalistic tree, which is Kether, which is that source-based connection, that connection that we have with our higher self. So the point that I was making is like, I could have clicked on any video. I could have clicked on any tarot card, any other random video that I have on my phone, and it just happened to be this one. That was not something that I planned. That was not something that I forced to happen or controlled. That was something that naturally took place because I was in alignment for it. And my subconscious allowed me to choose that video specifically. And it just really highlights the fact that there is a higher power. There is a higher intelligence. There's a vaster consciousness that really is out here supporting every single one of us. Okay, there's, of course, we have our higher self connection. We have our source connection. All of this is intertwined together. The source has a source, right? And it just keeps going deeper and deeper and deeper until it's just the absolute consciousness, absolute all. And it's valuable to know that when you're going through these types of transformations because, in so many ways, you have to sacrifice everything. You have to really dissolve and you have to become nothing, in order to really understand that you are not just confined to this physical reality, to what you may think you are, to these beliefs, to these relationships, to the job that you have, to whatever those things are. It's like sometimes you literally have to get to the no self to realize you are an eternal, immortal energy that is simply the light of conscious awareness of the no thing. And then you go a little bit deeper from that and you're like, okay, well, what's that light that's observing the no thing? That's you. That's your source connection. And that's always in you. But when you're going through these transformations and you're sacrificing things, you're releasing things, you're letting go of the old self, that's a tough process to go through. I mean, it literally feels like you're dying. So are you able to die? Are you willing to die? Are you trusting that death is leading to a rebirth and it's aligning you more into a version of you that has always been you? And you just have lost connection to that because of your trauma and because of other things you've been through. Okay, so it's really awesome to know, even when you're surrendering it all, there is something out there and there is something in you that is always putting you in the right place at the right time, even when you don't see it and even when you don't understand it. And it's these little moments where it's like you have your old self, like what I experienced, communicating back to my present future self, letting me know that I have got to a place of embodiment and alignment that I've been seeking for so many years. And I've gone through so much pain and suffering to get through. And then also noticing that message from my old self, receiving it, but then also giving it permission to let go and to say, that's not who I am anymore. And you're free to release that energy. Okay, like it's just, once again, I couldn't have made that up. It's just the timing of all of that was exactly what needed to happen at that exact time. So once again, I feel like in some regard, this is absolutely going to have a resonance for you as a listener. There are people that are listening to this now where you're going to continue to notice these really what we could call supernatural communications, signs and correspondences and synchronicities that are going to confirm to you that you are moving away from your old self and that it is safe to trust the unknown. And it is safe to trust where it is that you're being guided towards and to trust your process and to be patient and to realize that, yes, it's not going to be comfortable and there are going to be points where you're going to feel lost, you're going to feel confused, you're not going to know what you're transforming into, but that's okay. Okay, that's actually a part of the process. So just stay open-minded, do your best to have an open heart through this process, and honor what it is that's coming up for you. Allow yourself to be authentic in the way of being present with whatever it is that you're feeling, whatever it is on a sensational level that you're noticing in your body, whatever memories are surfacing for you when it comes to your past and potential traumas that start to come up to the surface. Being present with all of this energy is allowing you to be that conscious healer that you truly are for yourself. Okay? This is how you're healing. This is how you're integrating and you're becoming a re-embodiment of who you've always been. So this is sort of the message that it is that I wanted to communicate, and just, recognize that there is a divinely empowered intelligence that is supporting you exactly where you are now with exactly where it is that you're going. And you don't need to know where that direction is. So trust it. Hopefully me sharing this can also offer itself as that sense of trust and confirmation that these things do happen, these things are real, and what you're going through is probably one of the most powerful metamorphoses you've ever experienced in your life. This is a weird, unique time frame that every single one of us is in. And as I said, if you're watching this video right now, I know you're here for a reason. All right, so with that being said, I just wanted to share that. It was something that was a really unique experience that happened to me. And as I said, I felt like it would be valuable to be able to share that with other people as well. Okay, if you got value from this or if you resonated with this, thumbs up the video. Drop down into the comment section. Let me know what you resonated with specifically. Hit the notification bell and get notified whenever I'm posting. This is intuitive-based content, and you do not want to miss out on the videos that I'm releasing. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's going to further connect you in. Copy and paste this link and send it to someone that you feel like needs to hear this. I highly encourage you to do so. Now, definitely make sure you check out my Patreon. On my Patreon, I have exclusive content that is only for the Patreon members, okay? I have an entire trauma healing course that's on my Patreon, which takes you from start to finish on absolutely everything you need to know to better understand the ins and outs of healing your early childhood trauma while also regulating your nervous system. I give you education, and I also give you practices that you can follow through on, which is really going to support you in your development process. I highly recommend it. It could literally be completely transformative. Okay? Now, I also have a different collection section that is a guided meditation collection section. And I have a really powerful guided meditation on there that will really help you access more of your self energy by getting more in touch with the no self, or what we could call the quantum field, that dark energy space that we're all deeply a part of, that so many of us have forgot. And this is a space where it really helps us to release trapped negative energy from the body and all of these subconscious programs that are no longer working for us and all different types of attachments. So I have an entire guided meditation that I think is about 40 minutes long that you can just lay down on your bed, listen to, and it can really bring you through a deep process of transformation. And if you're consistent with it for a period of time, I would say at a minimum, if you can start with doing it every day for 1 week, by the end of that week, I can guarantee you're going to feel more embodied in self energy. And of course, if you can keep it up longer than that, it's only going to build on itself. But all of this is over on the Patreon. Then tier number 3 of the Patreon is really unique. This is an actual ritual that I perform on the 29th of every month. And it's an energy transfer from me to you as the receiving participant to support releasing trapped negative energy inside of your body and your nervous system to bring it to the forefront of your conscious awareness so that you can actually start processing it, integrating it, and once again releasing it from the system. That's going to support you in grounding more into your authentic self, or what we could say your central self energy. Then over time, that's going to change your resonance, and then your life is going to start reflecting that change. So if you want to join a group of about 200 active participants that are taking place in this ritual on a monthly basis, definitely look into it. This last ritual we did, we pulled the card, the 9 of Swords, which was a very dissolving, disillusioning card to pull. That was kind of like the sum up of the ritual itself. And it had a lot to do with sort of dissolving connections to certain parts of ourself that we've been identified with unconsciously. And right after I finished the ritual and I started burning the papers, there was a bald eagle in my backyard, which symbolizes the higher self connection, because the eagles fly super high and they kind of look down on everything. And then there was about 20 flies that ended up flying into my condo because I left the back door open, which has never happened to me before. And I leave the door open all the time. And they were all in my condo, and unfortunately, I had to kill them. But it was so symbolic because flies are symbols of decay, because they tend to gravitate towards things like that. There's other symbolism that goes into that as well, but there were so many flies, which was representing the death and rebirth process between the flies and the bald eagle that showed up. But really interesting correspondences took place, and there's tons of other people that are going into this process with me that also notice really strange supernatural-based correspondences as we're going through this healing process together. So once again, if it's something you resonate with, definitely look into it. It's the first link below. We'll leave it there. Second link is where you can book a one-on-one call with me, or you can jump into mentorships. I have a 6-week and a 3-month mentorship. This is the most powerful way to personally connect with me, and I'm going to get to know you on a personal level, understand your unique trauma history, then help you create a foundation that supports you in healing that trauma while regulating your nervous system. Once we get your nervous system regulated, then what we can start introducing is we can introduce Kabbalistic initiation. And I'm also an initiator or a guide for that process. And it ties in very nicely with the healing process. So if you resonate with any of that, second link below. Then the third link is the YouTube memberships. This is where you get to join the YouTube member family. And I would be honored to have you there. Okay, we're going to wrap it up here. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the day or night, wherever you are. And I will see you in the next video. Peace.